And a great big hey howdy hey to all my goofy goobers out there. Welcome back to Animanic Commentaries with Comic Ozzy.
And
What the hell is that?
oh, flatulence. It was the or was it flatula? And it was the only language from here that I could sort of do.
I think you said something. Yeah. Careful, you might have said something dirty. Because tonight...
But who can translate it?
That's true. And speaking in that language, simply because tonight we're watching Space Adventure! It's an adventure in space!
No.
Phineas and Ferb is funny. I hope they don't ruin it when they bring it back. But beyond that point, we're watching Treasure Planet, the 2002 Disney animated flop. It did not do well.
Why?
The critics
Disney didn't believe in it.
Disney didn't believe in it. The critics said it didn't feel like a Disney movie. And hello. So they complain when Disney keeps doing the same shit over and over again. But when the Disney does,
they complain when they're when they try new things. Like we can't please y'all people.
It's absolutely fucked up. But in the short, in the short, basically, what we have here is the brainchild of John Musker and Ron Clements, who had previously, initially had worked on The Great Mouse Detective and had collaborated as directors on The Little Mermaid, doing so well with Menken and Ashman that they were brought back for the late Ashman's Aladdin. And then they also came in at Katzenberg, basically said, all right, you know what, you've been nagging me for years to do Treasure Island in space, but so tell you what, you make me the most successful movie you can possibly make. It'll make a ton of money, and then I'll let you make the thing you really want to make. And that was ultimately Hercules. So basically, Hercules is the reason that we have Treasure Planet. So thank Hercules for doing financially well so that this film could actually be released, because this film was fucking good.
Yep.
Do you want to say anything on it real quick?
I remember first seeing the trailer, and I was already familiar with Treasure Island because of the Muppets version, which Disney had also done about a decade prior.
I don't think they bought the Muppets yet.
This is actually the third time that Disney has done a Treasure Island adaptation.
That is true. They had their own live-action version.
The live-action version actually was their first live-action movie, and it included It included Bobby Driscoll as Jim Hawkins, who would later become Peter Pan.
Now, see, that's fascinating, because a much younger Bobby Driscoll was in Song of the South. Because let's just forget that Song of the South is not just an animated movie. Because
it might have been its first strictly live action with no animation.
Yeah, because if we're being perfectly honest, if Song of the South was completely animated, maybe Disney wouldn't be trying to bury it so hard, because they got other racisms in their other animated movies. What's stopping them from just having the whole movie be racist?
But yes, I was already familiar with the story.
I want to imagine the timeline,
and also the Wishbone version, and also the Pagemaster. I was already kind of familiar with the story, so I was going into this knowing the characters at least somewhat. I was in a similar boat as you,
not really being fully familiar with Wishbone beyond one episode that I did see was the one about David and Goliath, but I did watch the Muppet version, and I love that movie so much. It's a really good adaptation. Unlike A Christmas Carol, where they kind of played it straight, in Muppet Treasure Island, they actually let the Muppets be weird and nutty,
because it's probably easier to be weird and nutty with pirates.
And also beyond that, it's it's in the friggin' Christmas Carol, they had this one bit where Scrooge is where it's like, our assets are frozen, our pens have turned to inksicles. Well, how would you like to be unemployed? And then the rats go, this is my island in the sun. It's like,
yes, but even
kind of testing the waters with how much they could get away with in doing a literary adaptation, but adding stupid jokes. And people seem to like it when they did it with the rats. So they just kind of had the rats do all the goofy fourth wall shit, whereas everyone else kind of played it mostly straight.
We're steering away. We're steering away from a little bit here.
Right.
Anyway,
getting out into the weeds.
The interesting thing about this Treasure Island adaptation, well, obviously they changed the setting dramatically, but still following the story and the characters a bit. But in my opinion, they add more heart to it than any other version of Treasure Island I've ever seen, including the original story.
And that's the thing, right? Because and the thing is, and the reason that that they put so much heart into it is because even in Hercules, which has the little plot cul-de-sac where it's like we're gonna ignore the fact that Meg is dying, and we're gonna go ahead and have a comedy sequence of them kicking Hades' ass, and then Hades pulls one over when Meg touches the finish line, and it's like it kind of undercuts the emotional weight of her being crushed by a fucking column. But in all of Musker and Clement's movies, you could say the same thing. It has more heart than the original story. The Little Mermaid has more heart than the original story. The Aladdin has more heart than the original story. And Hercules is just Disneyfied Greek mythology. Zeus isn't sticking his dick in anything that moves. It's just...
God, okay.
It's just the wholesome, family-friendly, Disney version of Greek mythology, which is basically the original Christianity for the Mediterranean.
Because the original story was pretty much... I mean, it's considered like our first pirate sea adventure. It was an adventure story.
Yeah.
And so it was mostly just plot driven and not so much character driven. And Jim Hawkins himself was the passive protagonist, that young boy who was just observing everything, and didn't do much, I will say. This Jim Hawkins we got in Disney is a lot more active.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
And got a lot more personality.
Yeah.
Not saying it doesn't work in the original story, because we're seeing it through the eyes of a kid who shouldn't have gotten involved in this big pirate conflict.
He literally got caught. He literally got caught in the middle. I want to point that out. While I was just mentioning the Musker and Clements films, I was just picturing in my brain. Take the tonal and feel-good similarities of the movies of Musker and Clements, even Moana, which we will get to eventually.
Oh yeah.
And also go back to The Great Mouse Detective and get those feel-good feelings. And compare then the tone and moments of Beauty and the Beast compared to the Hunchback of Notre Dame, both of those being Gary Trousdale and Kirk Wise directed features. And you realize, shit, there is the directors have a signature, like an aesthetic, a style, a feel for how their movies feel. If you may wonder what they would have done differently if Ashman were still alive and he got to work on Hunchback. You never know. But I just want to...
Okay, let's focus back on this movie, hon, because we're gonna lose our audience.
Right. So, with all that said, honestly, this is a great movie. The story is really solid. The characterization is really solid. And all we're going to do is basically just congratulate it for what it does right. So, everyone get your copy ready. If you are watching, I have the Blu-ray copy, but on Disney Plus and even in the Blu-ray, it has the original 90s Disney logo, so we are square there. So, everyone get your copies ready to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm going to be putting in my 2 cents from a literary adaptation perspective too, because I have actually read through the book.
I welcome that entirely as someone who is very much only familiar with the 2 movies.
Yeah, and this is kind of taking off of the Atlantis vibe too, with the sci-fi. And of course, this is more steampunk sci-fi coming in here. A lot more steampunk than... And this is speaking of... You were just talking about Hunchback, so here's Tony J.
Here's Tony J, his voice being Perfect.
And a movie directed by the other two sets of Renaissance directors.
Yep.
But yeah, this really sets a vibe. Like, yes, we are in this adventure story.
It's boats in space. Like, how can you not?
It is so cool too. Is what the whole steampunk thing is. Like, yes, it's advanced technology, but it's all Victorian era themed.
It's more like tech punk, like.
Yeah, you're right.
We've gone past the advancement. Like, we have lasers and robotics beyond just simple steam powered and coal powered machines. Captain Flint, voiced by Peter Cullen, shortest role he ever had, I imagine. He's just here in the first scene. Does he even say anything more than fire?
And the mom here is another Disney mom. She's Andy's mom from Toy Story.
That's true. I hear it.
Also, Sheldon's mom in Big Bang Theory. And there she uses her Texan accent.
Yeah. I want to point out that with Jim Hawkins holding the book, like, there's a real sense for, like, they're really integrating the CGI into the, like, they're really going hard in, like, it's like,
also, Disney predicted tablets where the kids read their stories.
Yeah, you know, in a way, yeah. What I really like.
This is cooler. This is cooler because it's practically holograms.
And honestly, I think, like, hi, Danny. I think literally the best thing about this is, like, the book is CGI for largely no reason, but it really is a matter of them really testing the waters with this deep canvas technology that they started using in Tarzan.
Look at the flag. It's like, it's definitely inspired by the English flag, but they put a little bit of a, space spin on it because how the story takes place in the English colonized. I forget exactly where it takes place. I think it was meant to be like the Caribbean, maybe.
And, like, Montreser Spaceport is, like, well, we'll get there. I only want to comment on that. But, like, the Benbow Inn is, like, on an unnamed planet.
Hey, Stitch! There's a Stitch plushie!
Oh, that was adorable. These films probably
of course. Again, going off the space thing from Lilo and Stitch, and then the adventure stuff from Atlantis.
Also, this transition
was going through a sci-fi
this transition is like a beautiful thing you do in animation. God, the way the bed sheet kind of turns into the sail of his little thing. 12 years later. So yeah,
also,
Jim.
It's kind of foreshadowing Moana. I mean, look.
Probably a complete accident that those Polynesian boats happen to look like wave surfers, like windsurfers, like kind of boards. It's like,
or that's where windsurfers got the idea.
Maybe. Look at him go, and.
I mean, don't forget the guys who invented surfing.
And now we go from Aladdin having parkour energy to Jim Hawkins having friggin' Tony Hawk energy.
In a restricted construction area.
Yeah. Living on the fucking edge, that kid could have died just there. But man, I love how they're capturing his I think Glenn Keane. Well, we'll see who the lead animators on these characters were. Also, this is another beautiful use of their like CGI 2D aesthetic here.
The Benbow Inn.
Which we'll get when we get a closer shot of those guys. The Benbow, yes.
Which was the name of the inn. Yeah. And I do like how they involved Jim Hawkins' mom in here because she is a character in the book, although you rarely see her in the adaptations. Actually, his father was supposed to be alive too, but then he died shortly after the pirates sieged the house.
Also, here we have David Hyde Pierce, a great comedic actor.
Which has that a distinct voice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like we were talking about Pixar. Yeah, he's like, you remember him from Bug's Life?
Ah, yes.
All right.
He was the stick bug.
It's like, yeah, no, he's not a stick. He's a prop.
Dum, 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 dum. He gets stick bugged. I love that. Little girl, she's just got this playful energy.
So he's actually a merge of two characters from the book. One was the doctor, and one was the Mr. Trelawney, who had funded the ship expedition. Mm. And Trelawney was definitely the bumbling one, so it's probably where the bumbling bit comes from.
I really love the animation on Doppler, but I'll talk about these cops. These cops are fully CGI, except for their gloves. Their gloves are 2D animated.
And they actually do look like Drix, who David Hyde Pierce also voiced
in another movie around the same time.
Yes.
And yes, Blueheart, you are correct. Doppler's animation, hello Blueheart. You are correct. Doppler's animation was done. The lead animator basically went on to like have his Disney animator friends from the dissolved France division. Yeah.
I love how she says ew and
then he looks at her like what?
It's like, don't say it like that.
But yeah, so some of this movie was animated in Disney's Parisian studio at their Parisian studio theme park, the second gate to their Disneyland Paris. But yeah, the director, the lead animator on, and then I love how the hat just goes up like and you can see the gloves are 2D because of the boiling lines. You can tell the difference between that nice clean CG and nobody minds their own damn business. So he's not old enough to go to jail. He's still
16, 17.
Going on 17. He is 16 going on 17. Anyway, but like Blueheart said, the lead animator for Doppler went on to, probably with his fellow animators who were laid off when Disney shuttered the Parisian studio, Sergio Pablos, thank you. And he went on to direct Klaus. It's like, what a passion project, and it is a beautiful film. I wish I could have seen it in theaters.
I see it. I kind of see it in the animation of, what was the guy's name? The mailman guy.
What was it?
I need to watch the movie again.
Yeah, we really do. I mean, it was just Christmas. I'm in a Christmas mood. But yeah. And this conversation is also gives to his manner for like just screwing up words.
Yeah, they changed the story a little bit here.
Because
they also aged Jim up and make him more of a rebel than just a... Because in the book, he's just like this dutiful boy, just doing his job, serving the drinks to the customers and all that.
Jesper, thank you, Fizzy. Jesper was the character from Klaus. But let's focus on this moment right here. So this is... God, the CGI on that boat is pretty. Wow. And here is our very short-lived Billy Bones.
A lot shorter than he lived in the book, because he was actually at the end for a while.
Much like the Muppet version?
Yes, I understand them cutting out the, what was his name, Blind Pew. Because that could be controversial in this time. Having an evil blonde guy.
But
also cutting for time.
Yeah, I feel like it really establishes this, like, Billy Bones. Like, all we have to establish is that he has people who are after him, and that this shows Jim's heart. It's like, yeah, good lad indeed. And I love that line too. Also, there's a cut line from David Hyde Pierce here where when he comes to the door, it's just a brilliant little dialogue where it's like, because she'll have the dialogue here, so I'll say it's like, in that dream, did the pet appear dead? Like, and you'll like just hear her line. Yeah. I love the holographic.
That is so cute.
And then Doppler Street. He might just be old.
And to mention, you also just went through a crash.
And look at the gills on him. Like, you see, like... I love this design. I can almost see a little bit of, like Gerald Scarf's influence on Hercules. I can see a little Hades influence on the shape of his mouth.
Versus beware the seafaring man with one leg.
The one-legged man is a man who had his leg replaced with robotics, which, that's really clever.
Well, his entire half of his body replaced with robotics.
True. Which all of it's really
you just
clever.
vaguely see him. I love how they just keep him in the shadow.
But they're also they also show you enough of his silhouette that you would recognize him instantly, even if you didn't notice, like, the hat or lack of a hat changed his silhouette quite a bit.
Yeah, the dramatic irony to the audience.
Because he has the exact robot arm. And it's not a surprise to the audience either.
Yes.
Smart move, Jim.
And then when we get to know Long John Silver, it leaves us with that question, like, can this guy be trusted or can't he?
Can he be trusted or can he not?
Which is kind of like how it was in the book, too. When Jim first saw that Silver had one leg, it's like, well, you know, there are lots of people who have one leg.
Yep.
But you still have that seed of doubt placed in the reader, you know? The readers, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, I applaud Robert Louis Stevenson just giving, like, what? You think every guy with one leg is an evil pirate? Well, in this case, you are right.
Well, you'd be right. I am the guy you're looking for.
Which pretty much started the whole pig-leg thing going on with pirates.
And the thing is, Jim is not just like some daredevil rebel. He's also smart. He just fiddled around realizing it was a puzzle, and he solved it instantly.
Yeah, this was another one of my brother's favorite movies when we were little, and again, he's an engineer now.
Right, their planet is Montresor, the Montresor spaceport is.
I know, you gotta feel sorry for the mom. It's like her whole livelihood, her home. And rebuilding buildings ain't easy.
The legend.
Not then, not today.
Haha.
Yeah, Disney was really on the sci-fi journey craze, weren't they?
Just a boat ride. And you'll notice that Doppler is initially like, I would be the doctor scientist of the era if I went on this expedition. Yeah.
Yeah, and the doctor was more like just the ideal British colonist in the book.
Yeah. Love this. The sheepish way he holds his hands behind his back.
Yeah, his buffoonery comes from Trelawney. You know, the Fozzie Bear and Muppets.
Yeah. Silly little guy. But I also love just the way he had to have ad-libbed that, I imagine. Go, Delbert.
Yeah, it still stands out. This is like the best adaptation of Treasure Island.
Remind me, curiously, viewers, or if you know this, DF, if David Hyde Pierce was he Frasier's brother?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Really want to go, and it's the right thing. Doppler is such a great character.
It's like he's not.
I don't talk about him enough.
Yeah. It's like this movie has so many great characters. Even for the mother who gets sidelined, it's like we get so much understanding of her, of like what she really wants for her son, holding it together. And we have it and we have it contrasting how she appeared like when Jim was younger in the opening scene. It's like, that's no moon. That's a space station.
Yeah, it's what you were saying about Musker and Clemens, that they took just the skeletons of these stories already written, and they added goddamn character to him.
Yeah. Inject a little heart and humanity into it. Like, in most versions, like, even the Muppet version, even though he lets Jim go, friggin' John Silver's just, you know, still a scoundrel. This one...
I mean, Tim Curry plays it well, but this movie pretty much...
This guy is John Silver to me. It can't be anyone else, because this is the pure essence of a character who has the intimidation factor, but also has a heart buried underneath all of that.
Best version of Long John Silver is in this movie.
Yes.
Oh, we're about to see the director's cameos.
Yep. They're on the ladders that direct them to the dock.
Yeah,
just
here
right
comes.
Here.
Damn. Okay, now I remember. Because I remember the cameos from Aladdin too.
Yeah. This is the tall, lanky one and the short, fat one. It's just kind of a perfect
duo. A
lot
hairier.
Still with a beard, though. Still a beard.
RLS, Robert Louis Stevenson.
Oh, that's awesome. I was wondering. Because usually there's
it's
HMS.
Called the Hispaniola in the book.
USS?
The Hispaniola.
And Disney managing to do fart jokes.
Yeah, now you know what I was doing at the beginning.
Yeah. He probably just made fun of Jim.
Flatula, yeah.
Yeah. Keep an eye on that joke. It comes back later, and it's still funny. Aha. And here she is.
Also one of the best choices they made for this.
Meow.
Making the captain a woman. Because there's hardly any girls in the original story.
Yep.
Also, Emma Thompson, also in a Pixar movie.
Delightfully playing this role.
Also in a Pixar movie. God, how many Pixar people do we got in here?
I'm pretty sure we'll have plenty of the people in the audience telling us.
These guys are an underrated to see couple too.
Yep. I love how Doppler.
Yeah, Amelia's characterization is probably closer to Captain Smollett in the book than Kermit the Frog is. Just saying.
Yeah, because she is allowed more sass. Kermit's just kind of the Mickey Mouse of the Muppets in a way.
Because I remember Captain Smollett also came off as very strict and such.
Yeah.
Although...
Actually, you know what's really funny, though? If Jim Henson were alive for the Muppet Treasure Island, he would have played up that angle. Because, like, he ran a tight ship on the Muppet Show, so it's like, yeah. I love that look. He's just staring off into space, just like, unbelievable, this woman. And the little cat thing that she did when she looked at it, it's like, ooh. Uh-huh.
But yeah, a captain has to command on a ship. But yeah, Smollett didn't trust the crew either in the book.
Yeah, because the guy who hired them didn't really screen them very well.
It was Trelawney in the... Oh, that's why I said that he's a combination of the Doctor and the Trelawney.
Aside from hired, all those words were one syllable. That's really funny. I love how she's really quick-witted and doesn't stumble over her incredibly clever wordplay and shit. And Dr. Delbert Doppler is prone to fucking up words and stuttering.
Yeah, he's more book smart than...
Yeah. Ooh. And here we go. We meet the man, the myth, the legend.
Guys, Roscoe Lee Brown is Mr. Arrow, not Silver. Oh, the way they reveal that is so good, too.
Yeah, because they have his right half, but he's facing away from the...
Yeah, guys, you got Silver mixed up with Mr. Arrow. Mr. Arrow's the one who was Francis and Oliver and Company.
Look at how playful he is already.
Man, I imagine
Glenn
how
Keane.
much fun they had animating all this. And on top of the CGI in half of his... Oh, man.
Now, the thing is that the principles are pretty similar to having two different animators animate two different characters interacting with each other, and the animators being in completely different studios across the continent. Right? Okay. And it's like, in this case, it's basically that, like, Glenn Keane or whoever else is animating Silver is basically, like, drawing like a rough placement of where his, I love this gag.
But yeah, no. John Silver's voiced by a guy named Brian Murray. Oh, and look at this. He even reprised Silver in some of the video game stuff.
Nice.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
I mean, he does the voice very well.
Yeah. But like,
I should point out that he's also a white guy, but yes.
Well, he's not playing anyone of any ethnicity. He's playing a dog alien cyborg man.
He's not a dog.
His nose is kind of dog-like.
I'm not talking about Doppler, I'm talking about Silver.
Yeah, like, looking at his nose, it's like he's not any real creature on planet Earth in the slightest.
No, he's still kind of human-like.
He's got a little animal ear up there.
He's not an animal!
You're right, he's not an animal, he's an alien. Anyway.
Oh, boy. Well, I guess it's interesting that they give Silver a darker skin tone, because in the book, well, they use different words, but he was married to a black woman.
Hmm.
Yeah, like I said, they use different words, which I'm not going to repeat on here.
But yeah, basically...
most later adaptations cut out his wife.
His robot arm would have, like, a replacement arm being drawn by Glenn Keane, like, just a stand-in. And then the CGI artist would, like, a CGI animator would go in and animate the real arm. And then the cleanup of Silver's 2D art would just, not include the other arm. Because the CGI part would fill it in.
Oh man, the backgrounds, I'm just noticing how they're moving around.
It's that deep canvas technology from Tarzan working real hard here.
Why do people never allow Disney to experiment? Just every time they do.
Like you said, and even more so than the man with one leg being fairly unlikely is, like, cyborgs would be very, very common in a world like this. So it does make it like, oh, it could have been any cyborg. And
here we go.
If you didn't pick it up by now.
Yeah, I love how they made his parrot, who, the parrots who are known to mimic, who in the book was called Flint, after Captain Flint. How they made him a morph who mimics people in other ways.
Yeah. But, like, also...
And man, were they creative with the alien designs.
Yeah. solar sails explaining how the ship moves if there's no air in the vacuum of space. It's really brilliant. As far as being able to breathe in the vacuum of space, it's just a fictional world. You don't even have to question that.
If they can have artificial gravity, they can have an artificial, like, I don't know, air shield.
I suppose, but they make no.
Or maybe they're already able to breathe because, you know, they're aliens.
That's kind of what I was getting at. It's like that doesn't really need to be explained. Love that guy's design.
I mean, she did warn you.
Hey, look,
she did warn you.
It did come with batteries. This is a hell of a shot to do. It's like you have to draw the characters rotating in 3D space to match the ship. It's like... And then we have these manta ray seagull-looking things flying in space. And there are the space whales. Very different.
Like something out of Fantasia, almost. It looks like it. At least the movements of them are similar to in Fantasia, you know?
You know, they might have recycled it and, like, put it on a different design.
Yeah. Yeah.
Snot hole.
She's already thinking he's funny. Really throwing in the Scottish stuff.
Yeah. And also, like, back in the previous thing, I wanted to mention, like, the way he's like Bones, and then he gives that knowing look when his eye just widens. It's like, yeah, at that point we're supposed to know if we hadn't picked up on it already. And if the kids haven't picked up on it, well, here he is wearing the hat. It's like, it's the same scary guy. It's the same scary guy with the hat. Because I saw his shadow had a hat. Those friends will stick by you for life.
Hey, everyone needs to learn how to mop.
Ugh.
Reminds me of the forearms guy from Ben 10.
Yeah. I love this gag coming up. This is a really good thing you could do with.
Like, hey, my eyes are down here. Oh. Ooh. I'm trying to remember the name of the guy that this guy is based on, but yeah.
Like from the book?
I mean, the character name in the book, yes. Ugh. I forget, because all I see is Scroop.
Scroop is a great, like, foil to Silver. Like, he doesn't really have anything personal with Jim. All of his gripes are with...
Israel Hands, right. Thank you, writer.
And I love the different robotic pieces that his arm can turn into. It's just great. Yeah.
Yeah, this arrow is more of a picture of morality. Apparently he had a drinking problem in the book.
Oof.
They don't even say what happened to Mr. Arrow, though it's kind of implied that
he drunkenly fell
he was
overboard?
gotten really, really drunk while they were in a storm. Or someone in particular got him very, very drunk while they were in the storm.
Now that makes sense. Bastard took advantage of his debilitating alcoholism.
Yeah, the first Disney adaptation definitely took that angle. You know what the Muppets did.
Yeah.
Different because it's all from Jim's perspective, so we don't actually see what happens to Mr. Arrow.
Right.
But yeah, all different adaptations take their different interpretations.
Yeah. Honestly, if the storm was in the book, they definitely took the storm angle in this version.
Yeah.
I wonder if the head tentacle guy and the tummy face guy are like brothers or something.
Mm. God.
Yeah.
Ugh. And tell me, how many Disney animated villains are this three-dimensional?
Here's the thing, though. It more so like makes Scroop the main villain, and Silver an antagonist, primary antagonist, not secondary.
Actually, no. What he is he is the antagonist, but he's also the relationship character, which is very interesting.
Yeah.
If he hasn't known, writing terms, a relationship character is like that person that helps the character through the journey.
Yeah.
A protagonist through the journey, yeah. It's usually like your Dumbledore character in simple terms.
Because they gave him a heart. The primary antagonist and the villain like butt heads, and the primary antagonist is also he's the heart of the story. Like you think it's like Jim, but Jim is going through some shit, and he helps him work out his emotional struggles. And we're already seeing the seeds being planted right here that he's starting to feel for the boy.
Yeah, I mean, Silver does like Hawkins in the book, but we don't because it's all from Jim's perspective, we don't get to see that growth ourselves or what his real intentions are, you know?
Which is a real smart angle for this movie to take, to really let us cut to different characters at different times.
Nope, he's definitely gonna be a dad
and
to you.
Look at the friggin' son that transitioned from his cyborg eye. It's great.
But yeah, they really make him more like that dad he never had.
Yeah, and not so bad a dad after all.
which makes the betrayal all the more hurtful.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, this song.
I'm gonna make Squad mad again, but this one song is the only song in the movie, and it works better than every single song in Tarzan.
Also, because everybody from this generation sings this.
With the exception of Trash in the Camp, which actually fits in the structure of the film because they're literally just having fun.
And yet he doesn't. He doesn't not. He's like, oh. So you are kind of listening.
He's not paying attention. He's a smart kid, but people treat him like he's just some friggin'
fellow teachers out there in any subject or sport or whatever. How many of you have met kids like this who act like that they don't care, but then you see that they actually do understand, but they don't want to get involved?
Yeah. And the thing is, Jim's got daddy issues. Which
obviously this is all part of the movie. Like, his father died in the book.
Also, watch this. The shadow is 2D animated because you can see they're doing like fun, like turning the robot arms into like a snake.
He's like, okay, want me to wash the dishes? I'm gonna wash these damn dishes.
You want it? He's like, holy shit.
He's like, he is a hard worker when he puts his mind to it.
It counts for something. And then you just see his legs. He's walking away. It's like, God.
It's like, yeah, he's kind of, playing hardball with you, but he's also teaching you some useful stuff.
And then...
Oh, and...
and the sun transition again. again, it's really beautiful. And then off he goes. And I don't care if his father has a name, because it's not shown in the movie, and he doesn't have a voice actor. It doesn't matter. His name is Deadbeat.
Oh.
Deadbeat Mick, fuck you.
Damn. Like, the fact that we don't even get the why he left, because, you know, that whole flashback is in Jim's perspective, and so he's wondering why.
But Mom didn't seem happy about it, and that's all that really mattered to Jim. But then we see the ship, a boat, come back.
And he did, and yeah, the boat came back. And that makes it all the more sadder.
Yeah.
See, this is how you do a montage.
Actually, to go into... I may go into, like, how this song is much more similar to Strange Things Are Happening to Me from... Toy Story, where it's very clearly Jim would be the singer of the song, much like how Woody would be the singer of the song, because the song is about their emotions in this moment.
And you see John Silver like having that one look at Jim and then putting his arm around him. And it's like, this is how you do a montage and show character development within like 3 minutes. And now they act like best buddies.
Yeah. A little more.
I always love that. I think I used to have a toy morph, you know, like one of those McDonald's toys.
Yeah. Was he squishy?
I don't remember. Maybe. I also remember we had like Ben in several body parts.
Yeah.
We had to collect them all to build them.
It's like a different piece comes with a different other Happy Meal toy of the movie.
Oof.
Ooh. He's being a little more polite.
Is this like the one time where Disney actually reformed a villain?
See, I don't even think they necessarily reformed him so much as, like, he always really had a heart, but, like, he never had anyone he really personally cared about before.
Like Discord himself. Reformation, you know what I mean?
I guess so. It's like he never had anyone I guess like Discord. He never had someone he personally cared about, or someone who cared about him.
It's like you give up a few things chasing a dream.
Also,
like,
that's
a good line. Then shows you the sacrifice he's gone for this treasure too.
It's like he managed to escape from Flint.
Well, I think because Flint... I don't think he actually knew Flint, though, because it says that this Flint, anyway, it was like 100 or so years or so.
Right. So I guess more so, yeah, he just, like...
Yeah, because the book Silver was part of Flint's crew.
In fact, a lot of them were. They were reclaiming the treasure that they thought was rightfully theirs. Yep. But yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Blueheart.
Actually, Silver's more of a distraction character than an antagonist now that I think about it, because he's what Jim could be. You know, chasing after the dreams and not really thinking about the consequences.
Not caring about anyone. And look at this!
Which he was very close to doing. Yes. Which is very close to doing. The way he was, you know, joyriding through the construction site.
Yeah. And he got to do that with Silver, like, just a bit ago in the skiff, right? Which gives an emotional connection. You gotta point... I want you guys to do this little thing. Not a drinking game, but just try to point out every time when Silver's eye is CGI versus 2D. You'll notice the difference based on the level of detail. Ah, shit. Also brilliant how they turn a whirlpool basically into a... They turn a wormhole up... They turn a black hole into a whirlpool, like a veritable maelstrom. Awesome.
Yeah, see, this is what Doctor's good at. He's an astronomer.
It seems confusing. And here we go. And in they go. Ah, shit. And if it weren't for Jim, that would be his death.
But
here's an opportunist seeing an opportunity.
Because he's so damn petty.
He wants murder and he wants it now. He's impatient and he's despicable and slimy and terrible.
And he's mad about Mr. Arrow. Like, am I clear, Mr. Scroop?
Yep, he had a vendetta. Scroop's a little bitch. I love it. And the color and the color fading.
And that look there, like Silver actually word, like, ew, boy. And he's shielding him too. He was prepared to take a hit.
Everyone's safe and secure. We're out of here, baby! Woof! They made it.
Now, Silver was legit prepared to take a hit. He didn't know if they were actually going to get out of there.
Nobody knew if they would make it out of there. I love this stumble.
Oh.
He's growing.
He's
I saw catching
the test
feelings.
animation for this too.
Anatomically.
Slow down, buddy.
Is animanically also something that's a double entendre as well?
I don't know.
I think it would be.
Ugh.
Woof.
Oh man, and you look on her face, because that was her friend.
Her closest friend in the whole world. Ooh. And of course, Scroop managing to get rid of the evidence. Also, he should get like a Pulitzer for that performance. Scroop feigning like he's sad about it.
Oh, and jeez, I love the way they animate all their faces.
God.
Just so you can see it on everybody what they're feeling. And Captain Amelia here,
not a sailor.
She's the one in charge. She has to swallow her own grief here.
Not a sailor, a spacer. That's just that's nice attention to detail. It's the little things. It's choices in dialogue, terminology in the entire 2D eye there. You'll notice.
Yeah, just Amelia's like yeah, I can't show my grief right now. I have to be she has to be the strong one. Just like geez, that's not an easy thing to do.
I love
not to burst into tears in front of other people. That's not an easy thing to do.
And here is Silver. He's right.
I mean, look at him. He's even redoing the knots here.
Yeah.
God. Yeah, and this was worse than just being caught by the police. Someone died. I would be like.
And the thing is, John Silver didn't lie to him when he said it wasn't his fault. But he does kind of gaslight him by just not addressing it after the fact, like lies by omission.
Well, he was saying that more people could have gotten hurt.
It's true. It's true. God, Silver gets the best lines.
And then it becomes less of a gaslight and more of this moment here. And what part of that speech should stop being a lie? He's like, okay.
Aww. Aww.
Oh God.
Aww.
There is no other character in Disney animation who's like Silver.
No! A cutthroat, a villain, a scoundrel, and he's found someone he truly could... A son. A son
Disney, take lessons from your own movies!
What about you give up a few things chasing a dream? What if Silver's wife existed in this reality, and he lost her, and they were expecting a child, and now he found a son in Jim?
Oh God, now I'm crying. I am crying here. I'm crying. Oh jeez.
I'm tearing up a little bit too.
I can't see and I'm wearing glasses. I mean, you're wearing glasses too, so you know what I'm talking about. To a lesser extent, Flynn Rider. Yeah, but he was like Thief, and versus this guy who's probably committed murder.
He's probably killed a lot of people. You don't have a sword for an arm and a cannon for a leg. You don't have those things without, intent to kill.
Now, Flynn Rider's more like Aladdin,
Yeah, thief with a heart of gold. But he's also a little bit, but unlike Aladdin, he's a little bit of a narcissist. And boot to the head. Here's the real one. Also, this is foreshadowing for something that's gonna happen very soon, actually.
Yep.
Because, that scene's actually coming up pretty short.
I love how they have Morph guide him to the barrel. Honestly, in the book, is just Jim just getting a sack of the apple barrel and he fell in. And then they happen to come in.
And Muppet Treasure Island kind of did that as well. It's like, hey, Jim, come in here. We're just lazing about. Have an apple with us.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Jim was very much a passive protagonist in the book.
Creating a reason for these things to happen makes it more fun.
Yeah. You're trying to sound Russian, dude? What are you, related to Jumba? This could very much well take place in the same universe as Lilo and Stitch.
And the humans are just aliens, kind of like in Star Wars. It's like they look human, but they're actually aliens.
Humanoid, at least. Colonization, like Earth colonization.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt as Jim. Yeah, real highlight as well.
I don't know what... Yeah, people keep talking about his name. I don't know where else he's been in, so... There's something I'm missing. Ugh. That always creeped me out as a kid. I'm like, I know it's just a plum or whatever it's supposed to be, but ugh. Oh, the red in his eye.
And also note, the only point which he feels comfortable lying is in front of the people who think he can't lead them to their payday. I love that he says that too. Click heels if you've got them. That's such an attention to detail. And wouldn't you know it? Timing.
Back to...
Ooh. And he's smart.
He's neither confirming nor denying until he's sure what I've heard.
Because it's better that he just shoot the boy, right? Then become more attached and risk the treasure? Yep. And I think now's a perfect point to mention that the way they figured out that 3D animated elements on a fully 2D animated character, pencil drawn, would work together was by applying a robot arm to animation of Captain Hook.
Yeah.
And it's really great. It's beautiful.
And here comes the trailer shot.
Yep. All their guns. There's that CGI ship.
Trailer shot. Apparently still have hanging in future, but okay.
Again, it's Victorian era. And isn't hanging them supposed to, like, snap their neck and make it quick and painless?
Yeah, but these days there's the injections or something like that.
Well, also Victorian era, they want to make a demonstration of pirates, you know? I love this shot. The shaky cam is so good. And she solders, she melts. They're going in the long way around.
Well, the way she just tumbles and everything.
This is a great moment with Dr. Doppler.
Oh, yeah.
Like, watch this.
Yes,
it's like,
it just goes...
And this moment right here.
I know. Oh, God. The way the relationship just blossoms.
All he really had to do
is
is hold a gun for 1 second, and he actually figured out how to operate it pretty well. Yep.
Yeah, but I saw how impressed she was. Like, did you actually aim for that?
It was like you held a gun for like 2 seconds and destroyed my globe.
Considering the last time is like, you know how to use one of these? No, I don't.
You know, I have to imagine that globes have to be like robotic and shit so that they can Transformers style change into other planets. Because what would be the point of having a single? Yeah, now
he can't do it.
Yep. Me wonders, would he have even shot Jim if Jim hadn't slashed his leg now? Would he have done it like quickly and just gotten it over with, or would he have had the same issues?
And we'll lose Jim.
But of course, his cover is that they have the map, which, as far as he knows, is true.
Okay, so an inconsistency here is where exactly Captain Amelia is hurt.
Ooh.
Because she was just holding her left arm, and then the next time we see... Well, wait.
It goes by so quickly, I hardly even noticed.
Okay, now look at where she holds her. And now she's holding her side. And then next time we see her, her arm is in a sling.
Her eyes are...
Oh, God.
Her eyes are a little out of sorts. Uh-huh.
Yeah, poor... I didn't say, but Morph at the like, come to Papa, right here, Morph. It's like,
yeah,
it's like a child when their parents are fighting.
Yeah,
you know? like,
Dad,
who do
please
I
stop
listen
fighting.
to? Imagine he at least has some basic first aid knowledge.
Probably.
Remember, he's not an actual doctor. I mean, a medical doctor. And he's still an actual... yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Well, that looks like something out of Alien. Those bushes.
Oh, yeah. They look like the eggs. And here we have Disney Animation's first fully CGI character. It's like, sure we had the Cave of Wonders, but that wasn't a character. And the 3D process to paint carpet didn't change the fact that it was still a 2D animated character. No, here we have a fully CGI character.
And Martin Short.
I love Martin Short so much.
You know, it kind of sounds like his Hubie voice a little bit.
Yeah.
Apparently most people are annoyed with his character, but remember, his memory bank's been taken out of. He's been marooned for 100 years.
And he's the crazy
Cut him a little bit of slack.
He's the crazy old guy on the island.
Or short for Benjamin Gunn.
Yeah.
Who was kind of did act like a raving lunatic in the book. It's like, boy, would you have a piece of cheese? Oh, there's cheese on the ship. Oh, I'll make a rich man out of you. I'm rich. I really am. Yes, sure you are. and of course, because Jim doesn't listen to him, they don't find the treasure sooner.
And here it is.
Well, I'm sure he screams because, you know, he hasn't talked to anybody in forever. So I think his volume control's a little...
Yeah. It's probably just that Martin Short scream, like some people find him annoying. I think. I love Martin Short, like he's great.
But yeah, just like how Benjamin Gunn had the solution to finding the treasure, he has a solution too.
But the thing is, Jim actually put some faith in this because he brought up... no, it's Blueheart. Blueheart who mentioned that.
I had a cat named Larry.
And I love this. Look at the squash and stretch they're doing on his robot eyeballs. But then, watch this. Watch the way they are able to manipulate his limbs. And, like, fold up his feet. And now he can just roll along the ground like a sad little boy.
You know, now I really feel for him. It's like, I'm sorry I'm so dysfunctional.
He's like, he rolls away so he's sad little... I love that. They do him in CGI, so all those details can always be on the character. Yeah.
Wait, Jim is 15 years old, and he was... There was no way he was 3 in that flashback.
Aliens, remember? Aliens.
5,
Aliens,
maybe.
remember? Aliens, remember?
And now her arm is bandaged.
Yeah. Probably to help from not hurting her bruised ribs by moving her arm around too much. Because breathing already makes the ribs move a lot, so it's like, but you can't stop doing that.
We're not a couple. Jeez.
Oh.
Okay. Is this like untreated ADHD? I don't know.
No.
I mean, he's programmed that way.
No, he literally went insane is the explanation. Like, we don't know what he was like before. He was probably a perfectly functional droid before.
And remember, his memory circuit is taken away, so he very well could have forgotten some of the things Jim said.
Yeah.
Not his fault. Not his fault. He was built that way.
I gotta point out, Musker and Clements are really smart about making their characters smart.
Yeah.
Everyone is intelligent. No one is dumb. Even Ben isn't. Even Ben isn't dumb. He didn't know that Jim and the people were hiding from them. He's not dumb. He's just like he's insane and bad with memory. Like he could take a hint. He knew when he wouldn't want it. Anyway, this is a really emotional moment
They're
here.
smart without being annoying about it, you know.
Yeah.
And without being extremely overpowered about it.
Yeah. Like they're all street smart, except like Doppler's book smart. But like, yeah, they're all very good. This is definitely a Glenn Keane animation. I can see it in the face.
Yeah. Oh, and Amelia's military smart.
Yeah. I think military smart kind of bridges book smart and street smart in a way.
Short-term memory loss. Wait, didn't Finding Nemo come out the very next year?
2003?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2004 was Incredibles, and then 2006 was Cars. Yeah. So Finding Nemo came out
Disney
next
movies.
year.
Okay, Disney, Pixar. Were you guys just, you know, swapping stuff?
Nah, I think it's a coincidence. Because Ben was an insane kook in the book, and then but this moment here. It's God.
We don't even need the whole backstory monologue. I mean, we already got it implied that in trying to find the treasure map, he's lost. He's literally lost an arm and a leg trying to find this treasure. He lost an arm, a leg, an ear, and an eye. Trying to find this treasure.
He's lost everything. And now, mirroring the book, he has to walk with a crutch. It's like...
Oh, we're about to get a Star Trek reference.
Yeah. I love that performance there. Like the line read and the animation.
That kind of doctor. Doctor, it's not the same thing. People doctor. And you're useless.
Poor bastard.
But he's like, damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not an astronomer. No, wait, it's the other way around now. Because of Captain Jim Kirk, and every time Dr. McCoy is like, damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor, not a blank.
Mm-hmm.
Stay here. We're dead. And this is conflict. Yep. And roadblocks. I really need to learn from this movie in making roadblocks. Yeah. I was told I made things too easy when I was writing one story. Now see, Ben does help.
I feel that.
Eek. He's got a point.
And that is probably why they were found out and ambushed, because somebody must have woke up in the middle of the night and noticed, hey, our skiff is missing. Mm-hmm. Like,
okay, not his fault he's heavy. He made of metal.
Yeah.
Sorry, I will defend Ben.
Ben?
Yes.
Also, I love this little bit.
Wasn't this shortly after the first movie came out?
It would have been, yeah.
Okay. To his credit, who would figure this out without trial and error?
Hmm?
Unless you happen to know, like, have a whole diagram of. I mean, look at these wires.
Of course, he left him in charge of the cannons.
And this whole scene is like something out of Alien.
Because Scroop has no scruples.
Aside from the pie, this whole scene is like something out of Alien.
Yeah. Bye, Morph. We'll see you later. They really go for their 3D animation here, like
hello,
animating.
Meow.
Hi, Gracie Ann. What are you breathing, you robot man? I guess maybe he has pistons. Boy.
I mean, they always keep someone on this ship.
More Three Stooges bits from Morph. Oh, God.
Hello, Fluffy Bun. Sorry, I sound weird out of context. This is a kitty cat.
And this, I imagine, is their homaging a previous Disney animated film with friggin' like
falling off a cliff.
No, Peter Pan.
Oh.
Wrapping up the villain in the pirate flag. Like, as you watch it, and he doesn't cut it quickly, and also letting Jim know he was the one who did it, because he likes to gloat. And he cut it.
Also, instead of falling off a cliff, he's falling up into space until who knows when.
What was really great about that? What's really great about that is that, like, he was slowly cutting it because he wanted to savor the moment he could get rid of that damn boy.
And that was his downfall. He's
such a fucking smug bitch.
He's a pure psycho, that's what he is.
True. Spider psycho, spider psycho.
Oh god, you're right. That was such a good shadow.
Yeah. You wouldn't know. They might have accidentally left the hatch open or something.
Or maybe someone had one eye open and watched.
Perhaps.
Yeah, but... And you know, Jim happened to only open it by chance, so...
No, he figured out that it was a puzzle and solved it.
But I mean, he found that it moved when he was just fiddling with it, and then he found it moved.
It was like, hey, it's a puzzle, and then he solved the puzzle. Because he's really freaking smart. He's a really intelligent, perceptive boy.
It's like, yes, no. It's the little things. He doesn't even look at it.
He's just doing it in that way, is like making sure you don't notice what's going on. It's like staring him in the eyes. Ah, there we are.
And he can't help but admire that finesse. Just that look of like, well played, boy. Okay, then.
It's like, you can't get it open, can you? It's like, physically cannot. It's not even a matter of like he wouldn't know how to solve it. It's just like he physically cannot open the map on his own. I love that fat.
Yeah, Silver. He's just like me.
I love that design of the fat guy with the horns. He's just such a great design.
Okay, so for those not familiar with Treasure Island, they followed the map. They found the treasure already dug up, but it was just a chest with like a couple of silver pieces left over.
And in Muppets version, diddly squat, nothing was left.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is like mirroring that. Like they found absolutely nothing. And that was because Ben Gunn had already dug up the treasure. Because fuck you, Flint, right?
Right? Did he even know?
Oh yeah, he knew, because... Yeah, but... Yeah, Benjamin Gunn was like the one guy who knew where the treasure was.
Jim is really good at solving puzzles. Ha Yeah. Dune Planet. Yeah. No, yeah, Stargate, but like
that one later.
Yep. And I love this gag coming up right there.
Yeah, Silver's more of a... I was just watching Hamster and Gretel, like, let's just punch it kind of guy.
Yeah. He does not give a shit.
He's a patient.
Everyone start digging.
If they don't want their treasure being taken, why not just take it with them? They don't want their treasure being taken, and they don't keep it with them because another pirate ship could come in, kill them all, and take their treasure that way.
And boom.
Trying to be sold by others, and Benjamin Gunn was left to guard the treasure.
Uh-oh.
Marooned. But Ben Gunn's like, fuck you, Flint. I'm just going to dig it up and keep it for myself. On everybody. Before we even see it.
It's...
This guy keeps getting the movie references.
He does. And that's how the planet has gravity, this whole giant artificial gravity machine. From the purple lasers, like we saw the purple effect when the artificial gravity was turned on and off.
Okay, but in this case, Flint was just so obsessed with keeping the treasure, not using it, that... Yeah.
It's his trophy.
It's the gold fever.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, because see, it's been 100 years, so this is a...
God.
This thing's long decomposed.
Yeah.
Even down to the gold tooth. Ugh. I would not have the guts.
Right there.
This kind of reminded me of the Goonies a little bit, too.
A little bit, yeah. Ooh. There he goes.
Now he's all blue.
Whoops.
There you go. And this is why we should listen to crazy guys.
And now I think he's just shouting to be heard over the mass destruction here.
Mm. Yeah, because he knows afterwards he's a lot more coherent in what he's doing.
Woof.
Yeah, see? You have touched stuff forbidden treasure! Now you shall never again see the light of day!
Pay attention, he did pocket some gold.
Yeah, he could have very well done that when he was touching it
earlier,
you know,
but now
like,
he's desperate
earlier.
to get anything. And Jim's like, hey, here's a whole boat full of shit. Let's just get that.
Also, it's a way out.
That's also true.
It's another one of my favorite Doppler moments.
Yeah. There are always two actors when it comes to animated characters. There's the voice actor and the animator. And this is just a great performance right here. I love the faces he pulls. That can actually
happen. If you stretch your wrists apart enough while your hands are being tied, you can avoid actually having them be tight enough.
I love this.
No, is to Tina. He's like, what? Oh, and this.
You ain't doing shit.
Comedy relief saves the day. What? He's like, really?
Ooh. And everything was going swimmingly. Up until now. Ah, shit. Ooh. Half robot man doing the half robot things. How far can you stretch? His whole life. Fool and his money are soon parted.
Well played, Fluttershy. Well played. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I had to.
I mean, to understand how good of a character Silver is, that's a pretty good frame of reference.
Oh, God.
He gets all the best lines, too.
That face.
Ooh. And then...
Which goes back to him saying, but I'm gonna change that.
Yep.
That is such good writing!
It is really good writing! Foreshadowing!
I didn't even notice it for such a longer time.
And here he goes. Here's the plan.
Oh, do not say, did Michael Bay direct this scene? No, thank you. No, that's an insult.
Explosions are not a mark of a director.
No, because this has emotion in it.
Yep.
Yeah, listen to the boy. Even he's like, okay.
It's
not like we have much other choice.
And he knows what he's doing. He did this all the time back home.
Everything leading up to this moment. Joyriding paid off.
Imagine. Tony Hawk. Oh, man.
Oh, God.
They already pick her like an old married couple.
Yeah, that's like us when we're on a road trip. You know what? It's not even just me. It's you and me, depending on who's driving. I acknowledge it, and I'm okay with it.
Spark it, spark it. Boom, baby. Everything in this is so well done and well choreographed.
Because it's always got to be at the last second. The show, It always stops at 1. And look, a shortcut back home.
Woo! If I had a nickel for every Disney film using deep canvas where a character moves like Tony Hawk, I'd have 2 nickels.
And the bad guys are happy.
Because they're alive.
Now that is how you do a romance on the side.
Yep.
See, you can have a romantic subplot without feeling contrived.
Yep.
And the arm around her.
Yep. Aww. Everything has a setup and payoff. It's amazing. Everything. We were set up with the windsurfing thing at the beginning, and we paid it off in this moment. Jim not wanting him to hug him, and now he hugged him back. It's just, everything is great. And even now, his father leaving him comes back full circle.
But at least, this time, he gets an explanation.
And...
this whole thing is taken from the book. Like how he talks about Flint is a free spirit. But you know he's not talking about his pet.
Yeah. He really isn't. Interstellar Academy sounds like a great idea for a TV
my
series.
birdie Flint here, he's a free spirit. Is it like he wouldn't like being in a cage? I know, they had planned for it to be a sequel, and it was in development, but because it bombed, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Hmm? Versus in the beginning when he said, yeah, what feature?
Right. Oh. He's still...
Oh, here it comes. Yeah. I'm not going to be able to see for the next 30 seconds. Oh. So do I. So do I.
Oh, God. Oh,
God!
Melts in a little puddle.
Morphe. Eat the baby, pinky baby.
And then another callback, another payoff. More like a callback, really.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, in the book, he does give Jim his parrot.
Aww. So cute. It's a lifelong obsession. He'll get over it.
Yeah, that's right. He did blow up his house.
Yeah.
Well, at least he was making up for it.
But a subtle little detail you notice is that he pulled that out of the pocket where he would have pocketed money in his cyborg hand. Cyborg hand that has a lot of holes in it, but his left hand's a big fat hand. He got more in his left pocket, but he gave from his right pocket. And he did pocket in his left pocket, so he did leave Jim with mere scraps of the treasure.
I mean, you have an idea how much that gold would be?
It'd be worth a lot. Aww. He's back home.
There's just drunken guys dancing in the background for some reason. So I just noticed them, like, what the hell is that animation?
And they reopened.
And it's bigger.
Bigger and better.
And they even got a garden out back. Cool. And now Mom's got help.
They cleaned him up.
And call back to Lady and the Tramp with 3 girls and 1 boy.
Yeah.
Also something they neglected to mention is that Doppler actually gave birth to the babies.
Yeah, originally it was gonna show Dr. Doppler with a pregnant belly because it's aliens. Disney was like, no, we can't show that. It was like...
And yet the Fairly Odd Parents was not afraid to show that. And that was like a few years later.
I don't think we need to get into that. No,
the whole, man being pregnant thing.
Yeah.
Favoritism.
Hey, look, he's doing the robot.
A very more fluid robot.
Yep.
Fluider. I have a tendency to say more something instead of doing it the version of it, I don't know why. But what word will always correct me on that?
It's like, hey Jim, for your dear mother of yours. Oh yeah, you blew up my house. Oh god, him in the clouds, and the star peeking through.
He owes his future to an evil pirate. Not so evil pirate.
A little bit of a scallywag, but he's a real swell guy.
Why do Musker and Clemens just produce the best stories in my
screenplay?
The screenplays, yeah, the best screenplays
by Clemens Musker and someone named Ron Edwards, John Edwards or something.
Yes, why are they just... Guess what I feel? Okay, so, like, Gary Truesdale and Kirk Wise are really good at doing their, epic...
Oh, yeah.
Epic and dramatic scenes, but...
Right.
Clemens and Musker, it's their screenplays just really shine.
They wear down your emotional barrier by making you laugh, and then they hit you in the feels so hard. You'll be crying for weeks. I think people are crying at Pixar films. It's like, god damn it, these movies!
And we'll see it again when we get to Moana. There's nothing in between I'm forgetting, is there?
Princess and the Frog, but I don't think they really hit...
Oh, damn it, I forgot about Princess and the Frog,
I don't think they really hit the same kind of emotional kind of.
We'll get there in 7 years. Okay, but yes, the way they write scripts, just like you said, how there's always a payoff, like something that, something we get in the beginning, and then it's more relevant in the end. I need to learn from these guys at writing stories.
Glenn Keane for John Silver.
Yeah.
As the lead animator. And the CG lead, Eric Daniels, of course. Kat and Amelia, Ken Stewart Duncan, Doppler, Sergio Pablos, Ben, supervising animator Oscar, more from Michael's show.
Try to say that while it's going very fast. Corey Burton, of course, he was in here. He's a pirate again, right?
Yeah.
Onus.
It's like I gotta.
Yes, kind of wish Disney did more movies based on old storybooks like they used to. You know what I want to see, Disney? I want to see you tackle Rumpelstiltskin or something, and not just in Once Upon a Time.
Next time, Bears. We're not even done with the credits.
Yeah, like because Disney, yeah. Unfortunately, when they try to do original stuff, nobody lets them do it.
RoboCops.
Nobody fucking lets them do it. It's like, okay, we were trying to do our own thing, but then you didn't like it. Okay, so Disney did not do Princess and the Pea, but there is an animated movie of the Princess and the Pea. Oof. It's like one of those, side animation studio projects, kind of like Swan Princess, and that didn't do very well at the box office, but then you got a little cult following behind it.
Casting.
I've watched it.
Casting by casting by Ruth Lambert, CSA, and Mary Hill Dago, and Matthew John Beck, associate. Got to give credit to the casting directors because they give us the perfect voices for these people. It's just brilliant. Additional voices.
Okay.
Jim Ward.
Yeah. Yeah. Honey, I should find that Princess and the Pea movie. Well, the plot is pretty all over the place. The animation's actually pretty impressive.
Keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Tuning animation process.
Yes, Swan Princess was inspired by Swan Lake. We're not. I was just saying as an example of a side animation in studio that wasn't like DreamWorks or Disney or all that trying to make movies.
The California unit, the Florida unit. Oh, that's for the Caps compositing, so probably wouldn't have anything to mention about the French studio.
Yeah, I can't. People who said that this was terrible, they are wrong. They are so wrong.
It really is like God.
You're entitled to your opinion, but you are wrong.
Man, just like...
We are just in that age of box office failures that critics ripped apart, but they were wrong. They were so wrong.
It's like they don't even think to realize the perfect encapsulation of emotional. Like, this movie is like Jeffrey Katzenberg was like, all right. You make me a movie so successful, then I'll let you make Treasure Planet. If Treasure Planet had released in the time of the Disney Renaissance, it probably would have done a million times better.
Also, apparently the Disney failed on the advertising because they didn't believe in this movie.
Yep.
Just like with Atlantis.
Didn't advertise it for shit. It's not that the advertisements they did for the film didn't do it justice or, like...
They used the exact same soundtrack for the Treasure Planet trailer that they did in Atlantis.
Yeah. It's like... special thanks to the following staff whose efforts made possible this production, I'm sure. Man. So many hardworking, talented individuals. I'm actually sad to hear about all the layoffs, like, every so often Disney does, like, just from different departments of the company, no doubt, but, like, just, God.
But, every time I see, YouTube reactors watching this movie and they've never seen it, they're like, why did this movie terrible? Like, thank you.
Because, like, I don't know, we're audience becoming more jaded in the early 2000s because...
maybe that was it. we kind of in that funk with Disney now. So who knows? In 20 years, people be watching the movies from this age, and they'll be like, "So why'd this do terribly?" I don't know.
Why didn't this movie do well? It's like, you tell me. Apparently, nobody saw it. They advertised it as a space pirate boat epic, and then there was like 1 or 2 trailers, and that was it.
Yeah, because Spider-Man was in theaters around the same time.
Oof.
That's no excuse.
That does create a, like, well, do I go see this weird space boat movie that looks weird?
I saw both, so.
Or do I go, like, because people buy with their money, like, what they want.
It was around that. I'm pretty sure Harry Potter was 2001. At least the first one.
Yeah, when was the second one?
I don't know. We had a lot of franchises going around in the early 2000s, so you know what? Now that I think about that, might have been a factor.
Yeah.
I mean, what? We had Spider-Man, we had Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, we had Pirates of the Caribbean getting there.
And a sequel for Pirates being in the works. People being more excited for that, likely. And Shrek and Toy Story.
Oh yeah, yes, and then Pixar and DreamWorks getting in the mix.
Yep. And even DreamWorks seeing like pretty big successes with friggin' Shrek and fucking Prince of Egypt, but then seeing less than success with Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron, and Sinbad. And
I think someone said that Treasure Planet lost to Spirited Away for Best Animated Feature, and fair.
I mean, it's fucking Spirited
So
Away.
maybe it was just it just got released with a whole bunch of other movies and just kind of got lost in the mix.
But like even DreamWorks, like they had great success with like Shrek and the Prince of Egypt, and then you see less than stellar returns with Sinbad, El Dorado, and Spirit, and it's like, let's shutter our 2D department as well. Because
at least 2 of those are better than people give it credit for.
Sinbad and El Dorado, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and it probably was ahead of its time, just like Atlantis. You're right.
Yeah.
A lot of the movies of the early 2000s were ahead of this time. A lot of them, not all, I will say, but.
Yeah. Like, for all intents and purposes, Disney's only return on animation was like their TV shows were doing pretty well, their direct-to-video sequels, and even the direct-to-video sequels that they actually put in theaters, like Return to Neverland and the Tigger movie, were doing pretty well. But mostly in home video sales, and the movies made their money back in home video sales from kids,
and their direct-to-video sequels and those home video sales
from kids who were curious about Lilo and Stitch. If you didn't see it in theaters, at least it made its money back in DVD sales from kids who were really interested in the cute, funny alien movie. It's like,
and then it's 3 sequels and spin-off series.
It's the same problem that Disney is facing today, but in a completely different market. It's like, why bother wasting the money on like 5 movie tickets for me and my kids? The kids be the only ones interested in watching this when we could just wait for it to be on DVD 3 months after its release. It's like, but nowadays it's like, why do I have to pay 5 tickets for my family to go see this movie when it's gonna be on Disney Plus? I don't even need to buy a DVD. It's like, it's just right here in my home immediately for a yearly, for the low yearly price of $113 a year. It's like,
and it looks like they're making up for with some of their Disney Plus shows. Like I don't know. I don't know if you guys are into Percy Jackson, but I'm so far loving the Percy Jackson series. Yes, Disney does better at adapting fantasy than other studios.
But yeah, but you'll forgive me, Squad, if I didn't recognize that Lilo and Stitch was successful, because Disney was just hitting like a low point. But then the surprise hit of Pirates got them to make a sequel. And those sequels, they made big money overseas. So Disney was doing really well in live action when their animation department was just...
You know what? I call BS on that whole saying Treasure Planet doesn't feel like a Disney movie, and yet Pirates of the Caribbean succeeded?
That's the thing. It didn't feel like... That's the thing. Disney's live action department versus Disney's animated department. With their live action department, they experiment, they take risks. Fucking Roger Rabbit is technically a live action movie. And they didn't even initially release that under the Disney banner. They released that under Touchstone Pictures. So, say what you will about like Disney not like trusting a movie to be under their banner. It's like, oh, we're a family-friendly company. We have family-friendly expectations. So when you see a Disney animated movie and it goes against the grain of what the critics and audiences expect of a Disney animated movie, they pan it. They don't like it. It's like, what is this, Disney? Why aren't you like Disney? And then when Disney does try to be like Disney, it's like, oh, now you're just doing the same shit. It's like, make up your damn mind.
This feels repetitive. This feels generic. Like, you're not doing anything new. Make up your fucking mind.
And it's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse as we edge closer and closer to the end of this post-Renaissance. Honestly, I want to call this era the grab bag, honestly. And you know why I want to call it the grab bag? Because we get a sequel or a follow-up to Fantasia. Nobody really expected that. Dinosaur, which was a really experimental film. The surprise comeback kid of The Emperor's New Groove, which holds up as a brilliant cartoon comedy, but back in the day, people didn't know what to make of it. Lilo and Stitch, which did well. Treasure Planet and Atlantis that were overlooked despite being really solid, like, sci-fi movies from Disney's animation department.
People like my brother to be an engineer.
Brother Bear, which tries to be the same artistic bent of, like, fucking, like, well,
Disney magic?
Pocahontas. They tried to do Pocahontas again, but this time without, like, actually using his historical events.
Yeah.
And then they do Home on the Range, trying to see, like, hey, people really liked Emperor's New Groove. It did mad sales on home video release, so let's try doing another madcap comedy, and then that didn't do well for them. Then they do Chicken Little, trying to ape Shrek's shtick while also being diet Home on the Range, or I guess diet Emperor's New Groove, because Mark Dindal directed both of those movies. But then Meet the Robinsons was like, it felt like a Pixar film being mushed for the Disney film, and it did decently well, and then Bolt did decently well, and then The Princess and the Frog did decently well, and then Tangled was their breakout hit, and that's when we get the revival.
All right, slow down. You're jumping to a whole other decade.
It's like, it's absolutely insane how much of an absolute grab bag. It's like, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? It's like we're fumbling the bag here. We don't know what is a success or what isn't a success. It's like, they played it very safe in the Renaissance. Hercules was the most experimental they got, and it was goofy, but it did well. So they thought they could do that again, and it's like, it was hit or miss with them. Guess they never miss. But we're going to get to Brother Bear next week. Until then, thank you all so much for joining us on this beautifully animated, heartfelt, and tear-jerking adventure. And if you're viewing this after the fact, thanks for watching. And in general, if you like this movie, you know this movie, just, there you go. And if you haven't seen this movie, you've now been introduced to it, and you're probably going to want to watch it again so you don't have to hear us gabbing over it. In fact, you probably have the video. You probably have the YouTube video on in the background. You're just like, you're actually invested in the movie and you didn't want to hear us chabber. But until next time, thank you, and take care. Stay safe. Be kind in all that you do. Bye-bye, everybody. Good night. Honey, what did you eat?
I was waiting to say something.